And sets another day. Billions will kneel and pray. Anything to aid escape from the world so cold and gray.
That's a charitable boy.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Bones and Tubs.
Back again. Time's funny, man. I feel like it's stretched out this week. I feel like I haven't been here in 2 months.
Yeah, this week felt like it went on forever.
Funny note, today's the longest day of the year.
Yep.
Summer solstice.
They call it the summer solstice.
So Facebook called it this morning at 3 as I was changing an infant's asshole.
Is there 2 solstices and 2 equinoxes? Is that how it works? Because I know there's the
winter and spring and summer solstice, right?
There's the
there's spring equinox.
There's the vernal equinox. That's the spring solstice.
Okay.
Or equinox, whatever. And then is there a fall equinox, I'm guessing, or it has to be the fall and the spring are equinoxes, and
let's just act like we don't have Google.
I'm gonna guess.
Yeah.
Here, this is a Bones and Tubs educated guess that there are in fact 2 equinoxes and 2 solstices.
That's good.
Summer and winter solstices and spring and autumn equinoxes.
We will be leaders in the new world.
Wait. Something makes sense. What if that has to line up? What if that coincides with the time jump from back and forth, like the daylight savings time?
I'm sure.
Impossibly.
Well, I know that the only justification I've ever heard for that was that they did it back in the day to save money on candles.
Yeah.
It's horse shit.
That's Benjamin Franklin looking out, though.
Fuck, man. It's 2017, bro.
I'm trying to save on candles still. So.
Didn't Indiana stop doing that?
They did. Well, that was back in the day. And then from the old daddy U.S. government, they came down on everybody and said, no, everybody does daylight savings time.
Oh, fuck you and your
because
states' rights.
Yeah, for a while. Well, because back in the day, we live in Ohio, and if we went to Indiana and it was during daylight savings time, they'd be an hour behind us.
I remember having to calculate that based on trips. Like, well, I want to go to Steak and Shake, Wendy's, or fucking somewhere, but you had to think about what time it was.
Just be glad we don't live in, like I saw in Kentucky, they live in 2 time zones in that motherfucker.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah, that'd be shitty.
That is pretty shitty. I couldn't imagine.
So, this week, we kind of alluded to it last week, that our topic of the show this week was going to be about charities. Though there are many charities out there with noble cause who do good things, there are a lot that don't really do much of anything good. And luckily for us, there is some very, very good tools to use on the internet already for us. Now, what I found fucked up is that anybody can get online, go to charitynavigator.org and find every charity basically there is, and they rate them based on their tax information, the historical things about them, and all that shit, and know that some of these fucking charities are outright basically a scam.
Dirty as fuck.
I mean, I pulled up, there's so many that I couldn't even, begin. Now, like I said, through my searching, I found ones through this navigator. Now, here's the thing, though. This is when I started to even question the navigator, because there are certain ones that I had a bone to pick that I was hoping I'd pull it up and they would have a shitty rating based on their financial reports and stuff like that. But they had perfect ratings, and I was like,
right.
But nah. So I mean, like I said, it just forewarned before this episode starts, we're not bashing all charity. Charity's a good thing, but unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there who treat charity just like a business.
Did you list any? How many did you come up with, if you did?
I've got 4 that I was going to highlight.
That's neat. We didn't talk about this beforehand, but I also listed only 4.
I mean, it felt like I could sit there all day and list off these charities that...
Did you get the 4 most disgusting that you could find?
I tried to find the ones okay, so like you could find a list of the worst ones, but the thing is, but those were basically scams, right?
Right.
I tried to find the ones that people hear about a lot, but in fact are kind of shitty.
Yeah.
And the worst part is that some of them technically you couldn't even get a good rating on them because they tie themselves with religious cause. And if they're a religious organization, they don't get taxed, so they don't have to be transparent with their information.
I flirted with being cheeky and making my number one the Catholic Church, but I didn't do it.
Ooh, but I mean, like, for example, I tried to look into the Salvation Army.
Yeah.
But
well, I know they were in some hot water a couple years past because of like them stealing a bunch of money.
Well, yeah, and the thing is actually I've had personal interaction with people from the Salvation Army and watched the debauchness go on inside that organization. Like, they would at our old job where we used to work, not the Factory of Sadness, but let's call it the
Farmer Houston,
the
Woods.
as I say, the Lodge of Nightmares.
Yeah.
But so they would come usually every year around Christmas time and have a big Christmas party for all their like executives and stuff, and like run up the bill into the thousands and thousands of dollars. I'm talking like $20,000-$30,000.
That's fine,
right, for a charity organization.
Sure, it was a tax write-off of some kind.
Exactly. So I mean, I tried to look up information on the Salvation Army, but I couldn't find anything because they don't have to be transparent with what they have.
Of course not.
But, and the same thing goes with, I had a really tough time finding stuff on Goodwill.
Fuck Goodwill, by the way.
I've found mixed stuff about Goodwill. I mean, it's hard saying exactly, like, cause
you can look at the fucking earnings of the CEO and the upper executives of that company and realize that they're not about anything.
Well, don't ever get twisted that they're not a business.
Right, they are definitely in the cash money world.
Yeah. I mean, at least they try to like do good things, like they hire special needs people and stuff like that to work jobs, and I get that, but like, never get it twisted that when you donate your shit to Goodwill, they're turning tricks on you, big time,
and not checking it for needles. I read a story about a child that found a needle in a stuffed animal.
That's fucking horrible.
Yeah,
but no, so. I mean, do you just want to kind of like bounce this back and forth?
I figured we could, and if we had the same, because we haven't talked about our picks, but if we have the same ones, we could lambast them together. But
all right, the first one that came right into my crosshairs, and I wanted to see, it was one of those ones where I wanted to see, okay, what's going on with it, because you see so much shit about it, and people buy so much shit, and it's targeted really at only half of the human race. And you see all this merchandise that they sell to with women. And I thought, well, I mean, if they depends on what they're into, I'll see like what's up with it. So the first one I'm talking about is probably the most well-known breast cancer charity in the country.
Yeah.
And that's the Susan G. Komen Foundation. Anybody knows Susan G. Komen was I think 30-year-old woman in the 80s, and she died of breast cancer. Her sister started a charity and like I said, most charities, some of them don't start out as something that like came from a good place, but this one was kind of one because she was like, if I can stop any woman from dying from this, because the thing is, if people had awareness and if people knew about breast cancer, then maybe we could stop it. And I mean, it started from a good place, but. Okay, here's the problem.
It's like everything else has been co-opted in the interest of cash.
Exactly. Like, and then you start looking at it, and you could look up these pie charts for yourself. But if you ever wondered, like, okay, so how much money if you donate to the Susan G. Komen Foundation, how much money actually goes to the research for breast cancer to try to figure out a way to like cure it?
My mind creates this giant machine, and you put in $100 coin. Right, and it just rolls down the machine and it gets chopped up.
Yep, pretty much.
By the time it gets to the bottom, you're lucky to get a few pennies.
Well,
how many pennies did they get?
What, research?
Yeah,
research gets 20%.
Ooh, well, that's
that's the thing though. Is it really like shouldn't it be more?
Well, plus you got to think about who are they choosing to research, because I'm sure that they're not giving it to people that are like outside of the mainstream, and we all know the mainstream's using like 50, 60, 70-year-old technology, which just involves poisoning the body just enough not to kill the host.
Yeah. So, I mean, in all reality, like, think about, like, with ALS and shit like that, where they did that ice bucket thing and people donated shitloads of money.
Yeah.
And, give it a couple years, let it incubate, and then, lo and behold, they've found new ways to combat ALS. So is it we're not putting enough money into it?
Well,
but here's the thing. This is the breakdown, okay? So this one, here's the thing. The big thing I found about it was, that people had a gripe about was, okay, so a couple years back, Susan G. Komen's sister, she quit the foundation, and then they rehired her, making $654,000 a year.
Meager,
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a foundation. This is for breast cancer research and awareness and da-da-da-da-da.
I'm just glad she was able to give up, part of her life for such a low amount of money.
Exactly. And the reason she quit initially was because she actually pulled funding from the foundation to Planned Parenthood. Apparently Planned Parenthood does breast screenings as well. They do mammograms. And she didn't like Planned Parenthood, so she pulled out, and then she got fired. And then they started giving money to Planned Parenthood again, and they wanted her back, so they offered her more money to come back.
Interesting. Bone side note, you should research the correlation between cancer development after abortions.
Really?
It's neat, because the body has the natural progression during pregnancy of the different varying hormone levels.
Yeah.
And when you abruptly stop it from a way that's not natural or, naturally caused, that throws everything into fuckville.
Causes some wonky problems.
Yeah. Problems in the machinery.
But now, another breakdown here, I think it's just a matter of, where their priorities are at. I don't understand how they spend 40% of their budget on Susie G. Komen for public health education. That part doesn't make much sense to me. I feel like pamphlets and leaflets and all that stuff couldn't fathomably cost that much money.
I don't know.
I guess commercials and shit like that, but still.
Yeah.
The thing is, charities don't apply they don't have the same standards that other corporations do. They don't have to pay the same amount as a corporation does for a commercial. Right. Because they're a fucking charity.
Yeah, different rules.
Different rules. So why would they be putting that much money in the public health education? Here's the thing. Couldn't you put more money in? They only put 13% in health screenings. Yeah. That's actually the money involved in actually screening women to check and see if they have cancer or not. Yeah. But I don't know. But that was the big things I had with Susan G. Komen. I've heard other people say that it is a big scam before, but in all reality, of the grand scheme of things, it's not that bad. Yeah. There's way worse ones. And there's some that, like I said, I looked through the list. I looked through the things that they described in some of these charities, and they are legitimately just scams. There was one, it was called the American Cancer Foundation, I think. Yeah. And basically what happened was a guy that worked for the American Cancer Society got fired. So then he started his own cancer foundation and hired all of his children to work it.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So, but okay, what do you got for us?
Before we move off of, breast cancer talk, I've got another Bones shout out. Mm-hmm. If you or a loved one has tits, right? Mm-hmm. We all know somebody that we care for deeply that has breasts. Yeah. Consider the following. There's emerging research that shows that mammograms have the potential to possibly exacerbate or create the potential for the development of breast cancer, amongst other factors.
So the means at which to check actually makes your risk of cancer go up?
Possibly. There are a lot of different factors, a lot of different types of cancer, right? Yeah. But there's one that I've found, and of course it's news, so the research is not as thick. Yeah. But consider breast thermography. It's like a thermal scan. It doesn't involve mashing and pulling and prodding and
X-rays,
radiation. Yeah. So consider that. We're all about helping out here at the Bones and Tubbs Show. Yeah. My number one pick was going to be one that I had personal ties to. Mm-hmm. You remember when the lady at the Factory of Sadness went around a few years ago and asked us to donate through our paychecks to different organizations?
Yeah, the charitable campaign, whatever.
I gave to one, and I found out that they were on this list of shitty.
Shit. Who is it?
That'll be number 2. Because I found one that's even worse than the one I had personal experience with. Number 1 is the Kids Wish Network.
I've heard of this. I saw that one last night multiple times.
Yeah, these cunts, I feel like they saw the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and they were like, man, these motherfuckers are raking it in.
Yeah.
So they wanted to mirror them. Instead of Make-A-Wish, it's Kids Wish Network. They also target people that care about terminally ill children and want to grant them wishes, right?
Yeah.
They were established in 1997. Basically, the only reason I could find was that they wanted to take money from terminally ill children. And 97 cents out of every dollar goes to fund like the executive staff.
Holy shit.
And solicitors. So 3 cents out of every dollar goes to making wishes come true.
Crazy.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the karmic ramifications of something like that?
Yeah. Oh man, you're going straight to hell.
They said that the
especially considering the context of what your job is actually supposed to be.
Right. In addition to the money paid for profit fundraisers, Kids Wish has paid its founder and his own companies at least $4.8 million in salary and fees over the years, while founder Mark Briner, who's still president of Kids Wish, is earning $130,000 a year, which is meager compared to some other ones, but still.
That's more than I make, so...
Right. These other people, though, they just continuous, there's like a revolving door in the upper echelons of this, and they leave and they create their own companies, end up making millions of dollars off this. It's a giant fucking circle jerk of death.
Just a sidebar here, just to let you all know if I didn't tell you from the beginning, this episode was not going to be a happy one. We're talking about people who are supposed to be putting their best forward.
Oh, but it ends
to
well.
help people.
It ends well.
Oh, okay.
At least, I mean, my research went well.
Okay, yeah.
We gotta shine the light on the devil. You know, get out of there, Damon.
Yeah.
You know,
we're exorcists.
Yeah, they give these people the information, and then we can point them in the right direction.
Yeah. So
if you want to move on to your second one, then I'll get into my second.
Next one I have is the American Cancer Society.
Oh.
Now, you can just take this information for yourself and know that these are the things they put forward. Okay, so these scores are aggregate out of a score of 100. So imagine, overall score and rating. They have a 71. That's like a D.
Yeah.
It's a D.
D.
So they got a D. Okay?
Yeah.
That's not good. That's overall score. Now, the reason they have it is because their financial records are shitty. There's a 60. So they failed their financial records.
Yeah.
That's bad. Now, accountability and transparency, for some reason, I don't understand how this works, but they got a 97, which means they're completely and utterly transparent.
Yeah, they're like voyeurs.
About the fact that they are not using their money
exhibitionists, rather.
Yeah.
They like to flaunt their nasty junk.
They like to see all that dirty going on.
That's cute.
But, well, I think the big part comes from the fact that their expense, like the amount program expenses is at like 59%. Almost 60. So like that means that 60% of the money that goes to this organization goes towards paying for things for the people that work for it.
Fancy.
Ooh-wee, and this is for, I think, possibly, this is one of those charities that really should be the bastion of all charities, because, I mean, if there's anything really that plagues modern America more than anything else, is definitively cancer.
Right.
It hits us at every level of our life.
It has nothing to do with, never mind.
Yeah.
Disregard.
Different show, right?
Yeah, I have no time.
But yeah, so I would advise against giving money to the American Cancer. I think what happened is probably at one point in time they started as a really good organization, but they've become fat and bloated over time, and sometimes they need to bleed themselves out a little bit. And I think that's exactly what needs to happen with the American Cancer Society.
There's a lot of blood that needs to be shed in this arena here.
Yeah,
because it's fucking gross.
They need to trim it down a bit because it's gotten out of control.
Yeah,
their message is no longer on point. So I would advise waiting until this is like almost financial advisement. I would advise until they bleed themselves, until there's some sort of Game of Thrones scenario going on.
You know, if you compared our podcast to a charity, we would we rate higher than any of these.
Exactly. We have transparency. You know where the money's going, and we're not sneaky about the shit.
No, and 100% of it goes to fund this show.
Exactly.
Which is all about raising awareness and
awareness of other things.
Through upsetting you, we try to make you happy.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting.
You know exactly what you're getting.
Patreon.com/Bones and Tips.
Ooh!
Can I go on to my...
Yeah, go ahead.
This one is the one that I donated to through the Factory of Sadness employee.
Okay. All right.
Now, I was all about funding cancer's, research and cure and all that.
Yeah.
And this just goes to show how stupid my brain is. So I picked one that was the Cancer Fund of America because it's cancer research. It's a fund, and it had the word America in it.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So, I forget how much. I want to say I gave them like $5 or $10 a paycheck.
Yeah.
So, do the math, But they were started in 1984. It claims in its pledge letters that it's on the front lines of the fight against cancer. Right? But its main activity has nothing to do with funding research or paying for cancer treatment. Instead, the charity collects donated goods, including shampoo, DVDs, air fresheners, and ships them across the nation to dying patients and the families who have gone broke trying to save them. Cancer patients help make their lives... It tries to make the cancer patients' lives a little easier with gift baskets and all that, right? Trinkets and toiletries. But the for-profit fundraisers take home millions of dollars, and the founders take... Let's see. 82% of it.
God damn.
So they basically give away the baubles and trinkets that they take from drives.
Yeah.
They send them like, sorry about your family member dying of cancer and you running up that debt. Here's a DVD player.
Yeah.
And
How much you feel better.
month of single ply toilet paper.
Yeah. And
they're fucking sending you that direct mail from a yacht somewhere, asking for more money, I mean, it's fucking disgusting.
It's despicable. I think there's no other way to put it. It's absolutely and utterly fucking despicable.
So they've raised hundreds of millions of dollars since they've been created, right? Mm-hmm. $1 million in direct cash has gone to the patients. The IRS records show.
Jesus Christ.
So, the head of this was asked questions by the IRS. They went through a lengthy audit. They got into trouble. And the media tried to send him questions. His name's Reynolds. He's the leader of this cult. Mm-hmm. He referred all questions to his attorney.
Nice.
And says, I can't help it that some things are costly. So basically, those nose beers aren't going to pay for themselves.
Yeah.
He's got to have cocaine on that yacht.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad I fucking paid money to that asshole.
Dude, that money paid for fucking giant fat rails on strippers' asses.
Yeah, I don't know anymore. Anyway, but yeah, so that was my number 2.
Next one I got, now here's the thing. I really wanted to nail this one to the wall.
Yeah.
So I looked it up, because I don't like this group. I used to donate to this group. But I stopped donating when I found out of certain activities they were doing with the money that I gave them. But unfortunately, they have a very good rating. I guess they're just good at what they do.
Yeah.
It's a matter of, are you okay with what they do?
Okay.
Now, here recently, this organization has gotten a shitload of money, so I'd keep my eyes on them anyways, because they just got an influx of cash that I don't think they've seen in for years. Now, this organization is shortly known as the ACLU.
Oh, yeah.
But long name, American Civil Liberties Union. Okay, so give you a heads up. Back in the day, when I was a little bit more of a warrior of sorts, I wouldn't quite call myself a social justice warrior by any means, but I was definitely a man of the people.
Right.
I was a very like forward thinking warrior for egalitarianism, right? I mean, I'm still an egalitarian, but now I'm just kind of eased up on the gas a little bit. But no, and then I found out that they were using the money they got from donations to fund cases for pedophiles who were being harassed.
Oh, God. God bless those poor pedophiles.
So I stopped giving them money.
Yeah.
Because, and they probably still do it as far as I know, but this was a couple of years ago. So I pulled out, and now they got a shitload of money. So keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact, I've listened to a couple podcasts, they're adamant about telling you to donate to the ACLU.
Fuck the ACLU.
Yeah, for real.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. Because, and wait a couple years. All this extra money they got, I don't give a fuck. They're going to be fucking stupid rich. Acting stupid.
I used to support the ACLU with, like, at least mental energy. I never gave them cash, but during the Bush era when they were, federal orders were asking police to, bear mace college students that were protesting the World Trade Organization or One World Government. That pissed me off. And then the fact that it took 10 years for a Freedom of Information Act to get information about firefighter recorded footage from 9/11. I was all about the ACLU because they were suing the shit out of them. Yeah. But now they're just a fucking train wreck.
Yeah. They're a waste of energy and time. Yeah. All right, what's your next one?
Firefighters Charitable Foundation. Oh. Interestingly enough.
I think everyone is depressing because these organizations are supposed to be helping people that need help.
That's what these cunts do, though. They're like the lowest form of society that have the business drive, and they find the things that pull our emotional heartstrings, and they form these fake-ass bastions of hope, and they just suck the money down their nose. Yeah. It's fucked up. Jesus. But, let's see. The Firefighters Charitable Foundation was created to provide financial assistance to those who are affected by fire or disaster. Pretty straightforward. Yeah. Over the past decade, its professional solicitors have been the biggest beneficiaries. From 2002 to 2011, it raised $64 million in donations and paid $55 million to solicitors. The charity spent less than 10 cents of every dollar on direct financial assistance to those in need. So it's just another example. Today, the charity pays for its profit solicitors 90 cents of every dollar raised. Some of that money goes to brokers, which is, it's kind of funny to me that they need brokers. Yeah.
They need people like that, right?
Yeah. So the broker earns about 4% of any donation. Yeah. So if you look at that giant complex machinery that I created in my mind, by the time that $100 coin gets down the pipe, your people with their burned down houses aren't getting shit. Yeah. Do you want to jump into your last one?
Yeah. And this one is, I talked about it a little bit on the show before. It has outlived its usefulness. Yeah. And that's the March of Dimes.
Time to kill it.
Yeah. Yeah. The March of Dimes was really started as an organization to combat polio. Now, as any normal 21st century person knows, that at least in America, and most of the world for that matter, polio is no more. Right. So, what do they do now? Their message has gone, a fighting chance for every baby. Pretty sure that doctors take care of babies and hospitals make money like regular businesses do, which I'm not knocking them for that. They're a business. Yeah. I can't knock them for making money, but what's the point of the March of Dimes at this point? They need to go. I mean, they don't even have that good. Their scores aren't that good. Their financial records are down in the D- territory. I mean, so
flirting with disaster.
For an organization that has outlived its usefulness, you really have shitty records.
Well, they're going to last as long as this older generation does, because I'm sure that's the only ones that are paying them money. The ones that remember them back in their heyday.
Oh, God, the March of Dimes. We got to stop polio.
We don't need the polio and the rickets to come back and ravage our babies.
You know what'll happen then with the polio?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man.
But yeah, so you got a last one?
Yep, the last one, I fucked with the firefighter organization. Now I'm going to fuck with the cops organization. International Union of Police Associations was created. AFL-CIO. I'm sure somebody's seen it written down somewhere. Oh, yeah. They tout themselves as basically people that raise money for widows of police officers.
Yeah, slain police officers and whatnot.
Children of slain police officers, what have you. Let's see. This nonprofit hires professional solicitors to raise most of its money. Telemarketers call people across the country and tell them donations will be spent providing financial aid to the families. But of the $57 million in donations given by the public over the past decade, more than 72 cents of every dollar was spent on the professional solicitors. Less than 0.5%, about $28,000 a year, was spent on survivor benefits.
Good God.
So, I mean, these numbers are fucking troubling. Yeah. And if you just Google worst charities in America, and you just read You know, they've got like the 50 worst, 100 worst, 10 worst. Every single one of them has to do with some sort of heartstring.
Yeah.
And it left me wondering, like, I wonder if there's any, like, is it the death of altruism? Like, do we not have any more altruists?
Well, I think here's the thing. In my research, I went around and I thought, okay, if I'm going to list all these shitty ones, let me go ahead and throw some out there that I think are worthy causes. Right? And there's a few that are close to my heart for different reasons. And I looked them up just to make sure that they were on the boards, right? And the first one I wanted to talk about was the ASPCA.
Yeah.
The ASPCA, if anybody doesn't know already, is the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. Okay, not to be confused with that piece of shit organization called PETA, which is really just a cover for a terrorist organization.
Is the ASPCA the ones that make those commercials with female music and I have to watch pictures of dogs?
No, that's like
that's
a different organization.
Probably like the Kids Wish version.
Here's the thing. The ASPCA is actually, they're the organization that they don't look for the flashiness of PETA or for that one you were talking about with the commercials.
Yeah.
These people are on the front lines helping animals.
Yeah.
Like any humane society you go to, they're probably partially funded by the American Society of the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals.
Come on.
They are the ones trying to find forever homes for dogs, cats, and everything else they could find, and to stop, this from happening. Like they are doing God's work.
Yeah.
I mean, their records are fairly good. They're looking at like a B minus, and so that's not bad.
Right.
In the grand scheme of things, of the other organizations we left that were ones that were rocking D minuses and Ds, they got a B minus. But there's a lot of shit going on with their organization that might be harder to look. I don't think the money, if you donated to the ASPCA, I don't think the money's going to a bad cause. I think it's going to the right cause. Because when you don't, I'd take it one step further. You could bypass donating to the ASPCA and donate directly to any of your local animal shelters.
Yeah.
And you don't have to donate money. They just want food. They want kitty litter. They want things that these animals need desperately.
Yeah.
I would do that. You got to take, I think, and I think at the end of the day, if you really want to make sure your money or your effort towards a charity is going to the right place, you got to be hands-on, and it needs to be local usually. Now, avoid certain scams, because I was looking up earlier, and you'll see a lot of, if you don't know a person, and you don't know they actually had something or they died of something, I wouldn't donate to it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people make up fake charities for people to make money. That happens. I mean, we see that shit on the news all the time. But, yeah, I would definitely donate to the ASPCA.
I'm sure they have a better animal track record than PETA, like you mentioned. There was a study, I guess, on the information available from PETA, and they openly admit that any of the animals, something like 97.3% of the animals under PETA's care were killed. Because that's the best way to save the animal is to kill it. It can't suffer if it's dead.
Yeah.
Hashtag fuck PETA.
Here's another one. It kind of breaks my heart because I did donate to them. And another, like I said, this is a charity that goes close to my heart, and that's the JDRF, Juvenile Diabetes Research Fund. I was donating money to them. And then I found out recently that considering that the organization is supposed to be about research, most of the money doesn't even actually go to research. But here's the thing. This is the thing, and this is to you to make your decision. That's not to say I stopped donating money to them because, okay, they do give money to colleges and stuff. Then they offer grants for colleges to study diabetic research, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of their money actually goes to helping unfortunate and poor individuals be able to afford their insulin. Like when my son was diagnosed and we were in the hospital, they gave us all this paperwork that we could have applied to the JDRF and they would have paid for our insulin. I don't have those kind of financial strife. I was able to afford it myself, but it was good to know that was there.
Yeah.
Now, personally, I feel like I would love to have more money put towards the research to fight and end it.
Yeah. Send it the way of polio.
But I think it's one of those things where I think they just got swamped. You know what I mean? Especially in this day and age, when we've talked about the pharmaceutical industry before, where a vial of insulin is costing hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, not cheap.
And that's life-saving medicine. This isn't like, this isn't like Viagra or your sleeping pill. This is shit that if you don't take it, you're going to fucking die.
Yeah.
So,
it's up there in importance, like with things like Narcan, right?
Yeah. Well,
because it's the same. They're both diseases. Another show. Triggered.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, we talked about that before.
Being cheeky, folks.
Yeah, we know the difference between that disease and that disease.
Yeah.
We see, that's the thing. We are grown adults. We can differentiate, and things can be gray
right.
and androgynous, and not androgynous. That's the wrong word.
It's a good word though.
It's a different word that means a different thing.
Yeah.
But life can be mysterious, and you don't have to know everything. It doesn't have to be black and white.
Right.
But as an adult, you should come to terms with that fact. Stop being a child.
Quit being a bitch.
But yeah, so those are two organizations I would say, if you wanted to put money towards them, go right ahead. But do things on the local level.
Yeah. Close to home. That's the easiest way to prevent, heartbreak.
Yeah.
I found out about this cat named William McCaskill on the Joe Rogan podcast. And he's the one that really opened my eyes to this whole fucked up charity thing that we've got going on around us. The Wikipedia page for this cat. He was born March 24th, 1987. 30 years old. And he's a Scottish philosopher and a notable figure within the effective altruism movement. He's a tutorial fellow in philosophy at Lincoln College, Oxford. McCaskill is the founder and president of 80,000 Hours. That's a really cool organization everybody should check out. But basically, he boils down everyone's professional life consists of about 80,000 hours.
Yeah.
And it has a way of helping you craft or shape or change what you do for a living to have the most global impact. So that's pretty neat. He's also the co-founder and vice president of Giving What We Can, which is a really good charitable information website. Yeah. And he's the author of Doing Good Better, Effective Altruism and a Radical New Way to Make a Difference. I think he makes something like $60,000 to $70,000.
Which, in the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot of money.
Fairly average.
Yeah.
What we all want to be making. But he said that his personal belief is that he will donate any dollar he makes past $70,000 into effective charities. So he doesn't just throw willy-nilly. He does heavy research. And then I came across givewell.org. I don't know if you found that in your your search. But basically, their motto is high impact giving opportunities that are supported by in-depth charity research. GiveWell is a nonprofit dedicated to finding outstanding giving opportunities through in-depth analysis. Thousands of hours of research have gone into finding our top-rated charities. If you go to their website, givewell.org, pretty much all the thousands of hours that they've thrown into this, checking of charities, has boiled down into the number one was against Malaria Foundation, and they're trying to completely eradicate malaria.
And that's awesome.
It is, because malaria supposedly has killed more people than any other cause.
Yeah, and it's a horrible fucking way to die.
Terrible way.
Yeah, there's an African name for it that translates to broken bone fever.
Yeah. It's not good.
No.
And let's see. They've got some kind of program where about a $5 donation provides one of those mosquito nets.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy, because if you listen to all the other, charities, you give somebody $5, they're going to be lucky to see a nickel out of it.
Exactly.
But a $5 donation is enough to get them a effective mosquito net.
That's awesome. And like I said, dude, there is multiple websites out there that are more than happy to tell you about charities. That are more than happy to tell you where's the money going. So just be conscientious, because the thing is, you don't want your money to just go in somebody's fucking pocket. These organizations are supposed to be here to help people.
Yeah.
That's the point of them. Okay? They're there to make other people's lives better.
Apparently the second biggest problem that the world faces as far as a health issue is worms. Mm-hmm. I did not know that.
Yeah.
But
clean drinking water is a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of the good work that's going on is involved in getting clean drinking water to people.
The second charity is Charities supporting deworming programs. And they basically are the most effective at preventing and treating worm infections in the sub-Saharan African and Asian areas.
Yeah.
And then another one right after that is, I can't even say this word, Cystostos Miasmus Control Initiative. And that's just the organization that tries to ramp up anti-worming governmental programs and keeps their feet to the fire to make sure they're not doing any fuck shit with the money.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
They need that.
And then again, Deworm the World,
Yeah.
Evidence-Led Action, and the Infund Deworming. So there's 3. And then another one was Sight Savers Deworming Program.
I mean, these are the things that legit need to be done.
Right.
And they're working. So like I said, look for these things. You can find them. Or if you don't want to look up online, go stay local.
Yeah, if you want to feel good about yourself, take a fucking $50 or $100 donation, take it to a local church, and give it in the form of food to a food bank.
Yeah.
Because then you know for a fact that your food, especially around Christmas time, man.
Yeah.
Like if you've ever seen like some of these programs in work, you're going to these houses of people that like church members or community members go and they give these names to people and they show up on Christmas morning where the parents knew like, you know, they didn't have fucking anything to give their kids and they've got just giant baskets of shit.
Exactly.
Life-changing.
And, you know, coming from the perspective of somebody that grew up in a Christian home, I think that's the key. Like if that's your goal end game is to live that kind of life and to help people if you can, that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? And you could take this even a step further. If you think there's somebody in your neighborhood that's in need, why would you hesitate to help them?
Yeah.
Because the problem is more often than not is it's not that some people just don't know when to ask for help.
Right. And those are the ones I think that need help, not the ones that are out panhandling for heroin money. It's the ones that keep their mouths shut and just starve in silence.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think, like you said, if you're trying to give on a global level, I would check out GiveWell or any of the other things that we mentioned. But if you want to do the most impact that you can see, definitely look local.
Yeah.
Because there's no shortage of people that need help in your immediate area.
Well,
quit giving money to these fucking CEOs to zoot up their noses.
Go give some bags of dog food to your local humane society. Or go check out your humane society and adopt something.
Yeah, shoot your local heroin dealer.
Yeah.
You know?
There you go.
Maybe not. Just kidding.
You don't want to go to prison.
Our attorney is in the corner shaking his head, so
he's telling us no.
We're retracting that, and it was only alleged.
Stricken from the record, I would say.
It's gone.
We never said it.
Never there.
By the way, before we got going, we had a contributor last week, and I talked to him. He wanted to be known as the Frisbee thrower, if you guys remember his question involving man robe wearing and whatnot.
Yeah.
He wanted me to just throw this out there. The Frisbee thrower, and the Frisbee thrower's name is TM.
TM.
Trademark.
Yeah.
You can't use it now.
Got it.
He wanted me to trademark that for him.
Huh.
So that nobody else could use it.
I had another user submission that it's not going to go in the way of helping this end on a positive note.
Yeah.
But in the constant chase for diversity, which our lawyer told me after the We Was Kings, we got to hit on another group of people.
Oh yeah, what's that?
So we're gonna do this in the interest of hashtag shit white people do. Elmo sent me a news story from Missouri. And let's see, it's on worldnewsdailyreport.com. Missouri, babysitter on crystal meth eats 3-month-old toddler.
Okay.
So fucking we.
Feast on that, not literally.
Guess what? She just needs rehabilitation.
Yeah, right? She just needs to be rehabilitated.
Rehabilitated behind the shed with a 38.
As I say, yeah, this is kind of a watershed situation.
Yeah, ooh-wee.
But, well, we'd like to thank you guys for listening this week. We hope you enjoyed the show.
Glad you came back.
We are. And we're glad that you continue to listen to the show. We've actually been getting some positive feedback from the new format, and I'm glad of it.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah, so we would like to see you guys next time. And I think, I like the way the show's going now. I like the direction we've gone in. If you agree, Please, we love hearing feedback from you. And you can get a hold of us on our www.bonesandtubs.com.
Form submissions, the truth.
Facebook, Instagram, or that's about it, really.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your means of communication with us.
It's 2017. We've really honed in on the most effective ways.
Yeah.
You could reach us on our AOL channel, our chat room.
Hit us up and get with us. If you think there's something we need to talk about on the show, let us know.
We will do it.
And we will do it. And we'd like to thank you guys for listening. You can check us out on iTunes, Beyond Pod, Stitcher, and there's going to be a couple more podcatchers coming up here soon we're going to throw ourselves up on. You can also check us out on YouTube. Check us out on our website, www.bonesandtubs.com, on Facebook. Instagram, check out our Instagram.
I'd really like it if people would reflect the numbers of the people that download our podcast. If we could get anybody, like a number of people that listen to the podcast to just hit it up with a rating or a comment.
I'd love an iTunes review.
Because it's kind of terrifying to me to see these numbers and just assume that they're all NSA agents.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're all faceless demons.
We are huge, we have huge supporters in hell.
Yeah, we need to know that you're humans.
Yeah.
If you could just 1-star our shit and let us know, like, you guys fucking suck.
Yeah, we looked at the numbers, and the other day someone asked us even, how many people listen to your show?
Yeah.
And you had a good example. You said, imagine you had a cup, and in a year's span, you could show that cup to anybody, right?
Right.
And however many people you show that cup to, that's the amount of listeners we have.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. We have that many now, and you guys just are quiet individuals.
Some of you have not only just seen the cup and what's inside it, you've copied the cup and taken it to show other people.
Yeah.
We
Which
really appreciate that.
That's whatever. I mean, imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Right.
So I'm just flattered.
Getting the voice out there,
Flattered.
That's the most important thing.
But, yeah, thank you guys for listening. We'd like to thank Ryan Simpson for letting us use his music.
Yeah.
You're such an angel, baby. I think we're going to do a quick commercial after we get finished with the podcast. And I think just for shits and giggles, we could throw it up at the end of the episode.
Yeah, sure.
Just so you guys can hear it too. Because we're actually networking with other podcasts to get our show out there to other people. And we're creating audio commercial for other people to hear on other people's shows.
There it is.
But, all right. Well, thank you guys for listening. And we hope to see you next time.
We love you.
We really do. The universe is a vast and complicated thing.
Don't you wish you could have some friendly companions to help you navigate through the various nuances and quirks of this existence, such as
Frogman breeding habits,
avoiding being caught in a Kafka trap,
the rejected feeling of the Fermi paradox,
universal gaslighting with the Mandela effect.
We are not for the thin-skinned.
No topic is too taboo.
I'm Tubbs.
And I'm Bones. And together we are
Bones and Tubbs, a weekly podcast about two friends that are on a journey to uncover every aspect of existence, one episode at a time.
Join us every Thursday as we take you on a trip through time and space to get you back to Earth in an hour.
Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or our website, www.bonesandtubs.com.
And make sure to download our podcast on iTunes, Beyond Pod, Stitcher, and any other podcatcher that you can think of. We love you.
We really do.